Today, I want to talk all about nutrition. So, breaking it down, why diets work, or what makes it stick. So, what makes a diet sustainable? Good food versus bad food. The steps that I take, exactly the same exact steps. So, you're going to want to see this, the same exact steps I take with my clients to get them success. What are macros, that kind of breakdown, and then that's kind of how I want to break it down. So first thing I want to talk about is why do diets work? So you always hear, well, I did keto and I lost 20 pounds, or I did the Atkins diet, or I did Weight Watchers and I lost this much weight, so I was super successful, right? But did it last? I don't know. Usually it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but usually it doesn't. So what makes those diets work in the first place? So basically, it's going to be calorie deficit. So eating less than the calories you burn off throughout the day. That's how any diet works. Literally any diet. So how like the keto diet works is you're going to have less or no carbs, higher fat and protein. So ultimately you're getting less calories. How Weight Watchers works is assigning points to foods. Usually the more calories that are in the foods, the more points that they have. So you're ultimately getting lower calories in. I'm trying to think of any other diet, like the South Beach diet, or I don't know, literally the stupidest things, like the blood type diet, those types of things. How any of them work is ultimately getting you to eat less calories throughout the day and burning off more. So, the only problem I find with those diets is that they can be very restrictive. So, causing you to cut out complete food groups, like cut out carbohydrates, or cut out dairy, or cut out sugar, like just completely. So when you do that, and I actually posted something on this today, I might share after this, but when you do that, when you completely cut something out cold turkey from your diet, first of all, what you're doing is you're going to be just fixated on having that thing. And then once your diet is over, probably the first thing you're going to eat is those carbs, or that ice cream, for that dairy, the sugary, whatever it is, and then all that weight is going to come back. So the reason I don't like the term diet is because that kind of implies that there's an ending point. So that's why I kind of like to think of it more as a lifestyle rather than a diet. And I think literally telling yourself that is just going to produce a better mindset also. And that's kind of getting back into the video I did on mindset. But that's really important. Like when, your significant other is like, oh, can you have this on your diet? It's like, bro, I'm not on a diet. Like, this is just how I live now. So stop calling it a diet because I'm going to kill you. No, for real though. So anyways, that's how diets work in general. So what makes it stick? What makes a diet going to be sustainable is going to be having that balanced approach, so that 80-20 approach. So obviously the more nutrient dense foods you eat and the lower calorie foods you eat, the faster you're going to lose weight. But at the end of the day, does it really matter how fast you lose the weight, or does it matter if you lose it and then keep it off? So what I teach my clients and what I practice myself is an 80-20 approach. So 80% of the foods that you're eating should be more nutrient dense, meaning that they're probably, how do I explain this? So we all know, like on the spectrum, okay, if we have a spectrum here, that more nutrient dense foods are going to be like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, things like that over here. And then as we scoot closer to this end, maybe we have like pastas, maybe we have, I don't know, all I'm thinking about is like carbs right now, but we're going to have maybe like ground beef, things like that. That's not as much as a lean meat. And then over here, we work our way down. Now you're going to have like candy bars, ice cream, pizza, that kind of thing. So seeing food on a continuum like that and having 80% of your food be on the continuum over here and then 20% of it coming from this side, because that's what's going to make it sustainable. So eating chicken, rice, and broccoli every day, for one, is gross. For two, that's just not something that anyone wants to do, right? So having, 80% of your food come from those more healthier choices, and then 20% having that pizza, going to the birthday party, having that piece of cake. It's Friday night and it's pizza night. So like I said, having pizza, or, you're going out with your family for dinner and you've been pretty healthy all week, so you have that burger kind of thing. It's not those things that you do every single day, because what you do for the most of the time is gonna be the determinant of your success, if that makes sense. So 80%, 20%. That's kind of how I like to break it down. So I'm the kind of person that loves ice cream. So if I had a diet that did not let me have ice cream or did not include ice cream, I would be totally unsuccessful, because that's all I would be thinking about the whole time. So kind of breaking it down like that. Also, a way to be a little bit more successful that I talk about a lot. So if you're a client, you're probably sick of me saying this, but just being 1% better every day. So making those 1% better choices. So what is that going to look like? Excuse me. Maybe it is choosing a vegetable on the side when you go out to dinner instead of fries. Maybe it's choosing to have chicken on your burger instead of like beef. Maybe it is, ordering water instead of pop, or maybe not even going that far. Maybe just ordering like a light lemonade rather than a regular lemonade. Maybe it's, going and taking your walk a little, like 5 more minutes. So just little small things that you can do to get 1% better every single day. So that can be literally in any thing in your life. You can stand at your desk instead of sitting. I think you guys are sick of the analogy, so I'll move on from that. But, so 80-20 balance, being 1% better every day, that's what I preach to my clients. Now, what are the steps that I take with them to actually, track success? So I'm a big, numbers person. I'm a big, figure out a way to actually physically track your success kind of thing. So I have it broken down into 3, 4 steps. So first step is going to be to track your food, okay? So just get used to it, tracking your food, making sure that you know exactly what you are taking in every day. So you can start by, just writing it in a journal, taking photos of it, whatever, just so you're more aware of what you're eating. Because once you do start tracking it in whatever way, you're just automatically going to be more aware of what you're putting in your body. But I would recommend leveling up to using MyFitnessPal. So that's an app you can get on your phone. It's the one I use. It's the one I pretty much recommend for everyone. I think Fitbit has something similar too. But I would recommend downloading MyFitnessPal to track your food, because it has such a big library. You just scan a barcode and it's already in. So the library is huge. It makes it super easy to track your food when you just scan it and it goes right in. So recommend doing that, because that'll count your calories. It'll count, it'll break it down, into proteins, fats, and carbs, sugar, fiber, whatever you want to track there. But I would just recommend baseline tracking for a week or 2. I would probably recommend 2 weeks, tracking just what you're doing now, just to get a baseline, just to see where you're at. Then step 2, or 1, depending on, we'll call it 2, okay? You're going to then, wherever your baseline is at, if your goal is to lose weight, then you're going to lower the calories a little bit. So you're going to set your calorie goal a little bit lower than your baseline. If your goal is to gain weight or put on muscle, you're going to want to add a few calories to that. By a few, I mean probably a couple hundred, okay? I'm not talking dropping 1,000 calories or dropping or adding 1,000,000 calories. I'm just talking, give it a couple, okay? A couple hundred maybe. So anyways, let's, in this example, just say we're trying to lose weight, okay? Say I am tracking my calories, just finding my baseline, and I figure out that I'm eating about, I don't know, 2,200 calories a day. Let's just call it 2,200, okay? So say I want to lose weight. Maybe I'll just drop it to my goal to 2,000 calories per day. So then I can see my weight fluctuations as I'm eating that amount of calories, okay? So if my weight is going down, I know I'm on the right track. If it's staying the same, maybe I need to drop it a little bit more. If it's going up, obviously I probably didn't do a very good job of tracking my baseline in the beginning anyways. So step 1, finding your baseline, tracking for a couple weeks. Step 2, setting your calorie goal, okay? So setting it a little bit lower than your baseline. Then I would say do that for a couple weeks. If you can nail it, nail your calorie goal within 100 to 200 calories plus or minus of that goal for about 2 weeks, then I would say we can move on to the next step, okay? So the next step is going to be setting a protein goal, because as we're losing weight, you're gonna want to hold on. What's up, Polly? You're going to want to hold on to as much muscle as possible as you're dieting down so that you can get that toned look, right? That's the look that everyone's going for. So you don't want to just, lose weight and then look like a deflated balloon whenever you've lost the weight. So you want to hold on to as much muscle as possible. So once you've got your calorie goal down, then you're just going to add a protein goal. So I would recommend, depending on your goals, depending on how much you're eating, this is going to depend on a lot of things. But normally, I would say take your body weight and go about 0.7 to 1 grams per pound of body weight. So let's just say someone weighs 200 pounds. I should have made it 100 so I can do the math better. I think I can do 200. I think I can do that. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. One sec. Stop. Come here, Bubba. Okay, so say someone weighs 200 pounds, okay? So you're trying to figure out what's up, Alicia, your protein goal. So you're going to take 0.7 to 1 grams per pound of body weight. So that's going to be, gosh, if I can do my math right, about 140 grams of protein. I want to say. I need to break out my calculator, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be at about 140 grams of protein for that person. Now, if you're extremely overweight, then it's going to be probably a little bit lower. Then you're probably going to want to go about per pound of lean body mass. So that's a little bit different. But that's what a coach is there for, to help you kind of with that calculation. So then you're going for a couple weeks. You're on track with your calorie goal. You're within 100 to 200 plus or minus that calorie goal. You're hitting your protein goal within 10 grams. Then we can break it down into more specific macronutrient goals. So before I get into what the heck is a macro, what's a macronutrient, all these fitness people are talking about macros. I don't even know what that is. It's a little overwhelming. Let me get into that. I told you guys this is going to be a long one. I'm unpacking a lot here. So third step, macronutrient goals, okay? What's a macro? That's going to be carbs, proteins, and fats, okay? So for every, I don't even know if I want to get into this yet. I won't get into this yet. I'll come back. But you're going to break it down, what's up, Nikki, into carbs, proteins, and fats. So once you have those goals, then those are going to be a lot more specific based on how you want to lay out your body composition. So I'd say keeping proteins high, keeping a balance between, carbs and fats. So that's kind of how I would break it down between the calories you have left over. So let me recap. Step 1, finding out your baseline, tracking just what you're eating right now for a couple weeks, okay? Number 2, going to be to add that protein goal. Calorie goal. My bad. I'm missing something. Calorie goal. Number 3, going to be to add that protein goal. And number 4 is going to be to break it down into the separate macronutrients, okay? So, like I said, you're going to take each step as slow or as fast as you need to. This is not a race to get to the finish line, okay? So I would say average it takes about 2-ish weeks to master each of these steps. But if you need more time, or if you're like, yo, I've got this, I'm moving on, do it, okay? So let me back up. What are macros? So macros are going to be carbs, fats, and proteins. The breakdown of these are going to add up to how many calories are in a certain food, okay? So carbs and proteins, 1 gram of carbs and 1 gram of proteins are both equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. So between those, say you have like, I don't know, I wish I had some food with me here, but say you have like a protein bar and it's 20 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of fat, okay? So you're gonna times the carbs by 4, times the protein by 4, and times the fats by 9 to get the amount of calories in that specific food item. So that's what a macro is. It's not big, bad, and scary. It's just how calories are broken down, and you can set those as specific goals based on kind of what your physique goals are, if that makes sense. So that's kind of breaking it down there. I swear I'm almost done. I do have a really good like infographic PDF that if anyone is interested in having, it basically like lays out what should I eat and has foods, carbs, fats, and proteins, all the foods on a continuum of foods that you need to eat more of, eat some of, and eat less of. So kind of getting away from that mindset of good versus bad, and more into the mindset of eat more of this, eat a little bit less of this. So I hope that helps. I know that was a lot. So if you made it all the way through this, congrats.